Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues. Please subscribe to our channel. A very popular topic that we're seeing nowadays, we get a lot of calls about this, has to do with who your ex brings around the children. Now you see, in most cases, most responsible adults who care about their kids, who care about influences on the children, who are trying to shield the kids as much as they can and being sensitive to transition issues with the kids, will not bring a better half around the kids for a very long time. Because, let's face it, boyfriends and girlfriends, they come and go. And for those people who had a normal social life and then found their beloved and got married and lived happily ever after, even those people, remember what it means. They have a whole history of failed relationships except one. Every single relationship they ever had failed except the one they married. And for those who are divorced, they are 100% failures in their choice of relationships. So therefore, in a situation where you're going to bring your kids around, you have to realize, well, wait a minute. So far, my fault or the other fault doesn't matter. I've not been overly successful in choosing the right person, so maybe I ought to be careful, who I bring my kids around. Now, having said that, there are different approaches to it. Some judges, for example, will insist that no unmarried persons stay overnight at the house while the children are there. Some will say, I don't mind if the children see somebody during the day, but there are limitations on the degree of exposure. Some will say, look, socialize on your time. Don't mix the kids involved in that. When the kids are with him, then go out. When the kids are with her, that's when you have your girlfriend over. These kinds of things. So you're going to run into different approaches about that. It's going to depend who your judge is. But I will tell you this. The general rule is going to be that your social life should be kept separate. And you should really try to insulate your children from it unless you really feel that that person that you're seeing is going to have a permanent role in the lives of the children. At that point in time, then it makes more sense to slowly sort of ease them into that role so that there can be some bonding done there. It's very important that you do that as few times as possible. So therefore, just because you happen to be dating someone that you think is special, just because you happen to have met a guy that you think is Mr. Right again, that does not mean that the children have to be involved at this level. Remember, even when you were married, Mother Nature created a scenario where the children weren't brought in right away, okay? There's always a waiting period, at least in the traditional sense. So I would say that most judges are going to say there's no compelling reason for you to bring any social people around your children for the purposes of socializing, unless there are permanent plans to be with that person. And if there are, that's a different story. But you really need to realize that ultimately it's not about what's convenient for you. And I know it causes inconvenience if every time you go out, the children have to be farmed out somewhere. But at the same time, it's not about you. It's what's in the best interest of the children. And so ultimately you have to ask yourself, okay, I'm dating this wonderful woman. I don't know where it's going to go. Should my children meet her? This is a great guy. Should my kids meet this guy? And the answer is, if you don't know where it's going, there's no point in involving your kids in that. So I would think that that might be the approach. If you have any questions, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.